Welcome back. We're now here with round 2 and we're ready to get straight in. We have Ilias versus Julius Schwarzkopf, and actually they've already done their dice roll. Ilias is going to be going first. So with that, I'm going to hand you guys over to Basti, Mike and Leo. Guys, let's see more of these playoffs.
Thank you so much, Julius versus Ilias. What a match as well. Both of these duelists have actually lost their first rounds, but they are still in the tournament. They just really can't afford one more loss. So it's all or nothing here. This is a real match that we have.
And I love the fact that we are going to see the players that are really tryharding.
Yeah.
They know that they cannot afford a mistake.
Yeah.
They can really not. And Julius Schwarzkopf has made a name for himself in the community by being very successful with quite different decks from what the norm is. We know he has a YCS champion title with Rika, and he has had a lot of great tournament runs now as well with the Mermail deck. So what is he bringing this time? We shall find out. Round number 2. Let's go over to the table. It starts now.
I think at this point you could call Julius Schwarzkopf the Prince of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, yes. He is definitely a member of the Atlantean family. And we, though, on the other end, will have Ilias go first. But he will have to deal with that Molcharmi Perulia thrown down in the standby phase of Ilias. But Malice is one of those decks that has at least the ability to not care about Perulia too much, and we do start off with a card that plays around it so perfectly well. Gold Sarcophagus, such an old card, but really so good in his Malice deck, of course, still.
However, with the newest version of Malice, you should adapt the combo since both Hare and Secretary cannot special summon themselves. They can, but your opponent will draw a card.
Wouldn't recommend it. Gold Sarcophagus and Gold Ray, actually very special card because it was a prize card back in the day, and the first basically reprint for everyone to get it was in Gold Ray. Not many cards have that feature. Just some random law. The most random law I could think of.
Crash Card Virus is another one, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, there's a couple from back in the day.
I see a pattern with these prize cards.
True. Something more recent, something very recent actually though, is the Malice deck toying around with different trap cards in the main deck.
Or no trap cards. Did you just see that White Rabbit?
Because probably
Very
Malice
sad.
are only on MT7 those days, and probably the set card that it has been hard draw is MT7.
But yeah, I mean, that's a big thing, right? Because I think last weekend, or no, it's actually 2 weeks ago now at this point for NAWCQ, people were on GWC again. Like, people were playing that card. I think for sure, Julian, for example, qualifying for North America, they used GWC for sure. But here in this list from Ilias, he does not run it. It's only MTP or 7. So it's a very controversial decision in the Malice player base at the moment. But Ilias said, I don't need that GWC.
Maybe because it's a very low round tournament, the World Championship playoffs, and you cannot afford to break in any game. So probably it has make more consistency and has doesn't use GWC, since in a 12-round tournament you can afford to break once in a while, while in a 4-round tournament you cannot.
I can see that. I can see that, and now we're going to get Red Ransom back. I think we've chained the MTP to our Red Ransom.
And Julius looking sadly at that Perulia in his graveyard, truly not doing what it was supposed to do. Not the matchup you necessarily want to have it against. It's so good against Varisial decks in the room. It can be really good against Vanquish Soul too, even though that deck also has quite some features to play around it. But against Malice, it's really... You do still want to include it probably because it just makes them play differently, but they're able to just do such a big combo even without summoning from the hand or summoning from the hand once. There is now an Ash Blossom and Joy Spring on the Chassis Cat, meaning though that Julius also is down to 3 cards only in his hand.
Yeah, I think if you're Ilias, you're fine with it. You get to combo off basically freely, and you know that...
Oh, normal summon! Julius gets a card.
Well, that's interesting. I think we're going to the White Binder here. That would be the next logical step. Yes, you can banish the March Hare back. So the Perulia actually didn't do too bad of a job. You've got to draw a card and your opponent has to adjust the combo, so it is slightly more fragile, I would say, think. Chessy Cat, such a good card that even though it doesn't play on its own, it's not your best starter, it is so important. It gets you so many draws throughout your day. I was going to say combo, but then I realized it's just 2 in your combo. But
Totally.
this card is super strong, and if your opponent ashes it mid-combo, that's so fine. Like, if I'm doing a combo, I would say I would rather activate the effect to discard 1 card of my opponent's hand than draw 2 cards if I'm already in the combo.
And also helps you play around a lot of hand traps. Is just normal summon Chessy Cat, activate the effect, probably to bait an Ass or any Imperm, and then just going to link 1 and summon her.
Ooh, I was going to say, where are we going with this?
That's it.
Because you can't use the March Hare from hand, you give up a draw, and if you go into Topologic Bomber Dragon then, you don't have it in hand anymore. Then you will have to use MTP without banishing anything.
To be honest, Bomber Dragon has been kindly off the meta right now because many Malus players do not respect anymore Chaos Hunter, which is a very big mind game for this tournament. Because if you know that Malus players do not run anymore Bomber, you might bring back Chaos Hunter and catch people off guard.
Agreed. I like the Cyber's Wicked Bomber Dragon technology.
You're a big fan of that.
I love that.
You can't get your fingers off of it. You have been doing that non-stop.
It is definitely the coolest thing that the deck has done.
Speaking of cool, though, that Poseidra activating there. Not so cool, though, drawing the card that we discarded alongside it, because that's a card you rather want to special summon from the deck later on in your combo. That is the Butterfly Fish. Such a funny card, actually. But it will work as a discard here for the Poseidra nonetheless. Storming Atlantean, storming onto the field, but Ilias trying to figure out whether he immediately needs to find a response to that.
The thing is, I got a small peek into the hand of Ilias, and it does look like there is a lot of non-engines, so maybe even...
So Ilias just made a wonderful play, because now he gets to ban his White Binder. Poseidra will be summoned without a valid target to activate its effect, and then White Binder will be summoned again from the banishment zone in order to draw a card.
That's so heads up by Ilias, honestly. That is really, really, really good.
I mean, as we said in the previous round, in order to be here in this tournament, you have to be one of the best 16 European players.
But now you're also giving up your banish from MTP.
Okay, Butterfly Fish back into the hand. I think it's still fine, though. Just giving Julius less chances to get those water monsters into the graveyard, I think, is a very, very smart thing to do.
Especially when you see that she discards a bad target for Poseidra.
That is a very, very good point. Now White Binder is going to activate here. Don't think you can get any more interactions out of this here, but Ilias also, what I also like about this, I've seen the Drone Lockbird in his hand and then getting rid of the MTP effect and the White Binder drop before your opponent searches anything. It's also huge if you can Drone Lockbird them.
Okay, we are now going to banish V-Red Ransom, and it will be coming back immediately after. The French community has been really, really, really big on the Melis deck. We saw a lot of French players being very successful with the deck, so no surprise to me that Ilias is playing it here in this tournament as well. He has been grinding with this deck throughout the entire year to get to enough points to be qualified for this playoff. And it does look pretty alright here in this first game of the second round. But now Julius, always out of nowhere sometimes, seems like he's able with this Mermail deck to just still overcome opponents' fields. He is really one of the best Mermail players on the planet, I want to say. Really has perfectionized playing this combo deck, knows the ins and outs of it, and therefore to me it was no surprise that he was bringing this again here for the playoff as well, which sometimes can be a little bit of a problem too though, right? When you're going into a 16-player tournament and everybody basically knows, hey, yeah, that guy is probably going to play Mermail again, of course you might be able to prepare beforehand, but there is now an Abyss Tears from Julius. Ooh, but there's Ash Blossom on it as well.
But we still haven't normal summoned yet, so maybe Julius with a Corral and Moni and another normal summon is able to do something here.
And also there are 2 level 7 water monsters on the field.
Yeah.
Very true. I mean, this seems like it could still go somewhere, and not to be disregarded, Ilias is only on 4,100 life points. that is not a super comfortable situation to be in because, let's face it, if you're not playing GWC, you're never gaining life points, so you are just lowering them consistently. Is that a battle phase? No.
That's actually a very valid point. Is it in the side deck?
No, it's not. It's just nowhere to be seen for Ilias.
Oh, you have to play really quickly through the entire tournament then.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Julius really thinking this one through. He has the experience with this deck. He just recently again made top cut at German Nationals with this deck. He really has all the hours in with this deck. He made most of his points throughout this season with this deck too. And he wants to now, of course, make his ticket to the World Championship with this deck that is so close to his heart as well.
That is really funny. Abystrite usually is of lower attack than the Malice monsters, but as Red Ransom points to the White Binder, you actually have a 2,800 attack beta.
Ooh, but we turned it into another monster with the quickness as well.
That's a breaker.
That is something that, I mean, Leo, we're getting to attack points here quite quickly. But there still is the March here in the graveyard of in the hand of Ilias, right? That is still something we can probably work with. Ilias. Oh, and there also is an Nibiru, the primal being. Okay, though, will be stopped by the Dominus Impulse from Julius. All right, is there maybe a world where Julius really, with so little cards, is able to get through this?
To be honest, Poseidra has an amazing effect going second.
Yeah.
So I really believe that Julius can have something in his sleeve in order to play around Ilias field.
The thing is, versus most decks, you really have to win the game. You can't leave them hanging on 100 life points and then give them another turn. Versus Malice, especially without GWC, you just leave them super skill drained. They are mind drained, they are everything drained. They can't just use their effects anymore.
True, yeah, getting them very low. Like, usually the number where it gets critical is like 1,200. When you get them or in 1,200 or below, they at least will have to come up with something. But if you put them like even on 500, it's basically impossible to still get a real worthwhile combo out of the Malice deck then. So it's really, it's a dangerous thing to just not play GWC overall. Let's see how well Julius can capitalize, and he's currently thinking about how to resolve the effect of that Poseidon Abyss, the Atlantean Dragon Lord.
That's, by the way, a bunch of cards in Ilias' hand. It's like 7 or 8.
Ooh, Sans Shadow Squad.
Yep, and that is going to bounce the entire field here. Back to the extra deck as well, so can't even banish them out of the graveyard anymore. Summon Prince. That is looking good. We've already played around Nibiru, and now...
you know what, Leo? I think Ilias might have done some... The Nibiru might have been a moment too early, because imagine they resolve the Poseidra, put all of your monsters away from the field, and then when the Prince is on the field then at that point, before it can use its effect, you use the Nibiru, and you have no cards on the field, so they could have not used the Dominus Impulse from the hand.
100%.
Now, though, you're left really with no monsters at all, and you cannot use the Nibiru anymore. Therefore, Julius, all of a sudden, as he usually does, may be able to run away with this by now also summoning out this super ancient Deep Sea King, Coelicant.
I think you're 100% on point there.
It just feels like that, and Julius really was happy that the Nibiru was used there. You could really tell he was so happy, immediately slamming down the Dominus Impulse to counter it on the spot. And now with still a bunch of water monsters left on the field, bringing back Abyss Rhine now.
And I think at this point, the good thing about Marcha for your opponent is that it's only going to be used in the main phase. So you can, at any point when you have game on the field, just say, hey, I want to enter battle phase, and then they have to use Marcha, and then you can still clear off everything. And now we have the Livier Dragon.
The Virtue Dragon.
The Virtue.
Oh, and it is using its effect as well. What are we trying to bring back here? Yeah, looks like the Prince is going to... Oh, there was a Droll and Lockbird!
Yeah, that was used on Prince Effect when Abyss Rhine was added to the hand.
It's weird to see it so late, but now the Coelicant, and no response to that! We get to summon 3 monsters here if we like to. This is just escalating quickly, really. I feel like even if Ilias resolves the March here and gets like 2 to 3 monsters onto the field, it will not be very easy to stop him.
Especially with 4,000 life points on.
Look at that Platinum Rare Pike. Just sitting there in attack position. I think that Ilias was just reading about the Coelicant, if the monsters could attack. The thing is, I don't know for sure, but back in the day, there was a whole deck about Coelicant being a fish OTK, so I think
They cannot attack now, because you had to always transition them into synchro monsters.
And that's game.
But that is the game. Julius Schwarzkopf once again able to pull it off, going second with his beloved mermaids. You can never rule that guy out. He will always just flood the field with all of those mermaid and Atlantean monsters, and he just once again takes game number 1 here.
But I mean, Ilias' combo just also wasn't there, and you know what was the critical point there? GWC not being in the main deck, because you set MTP to play around Effect Veiler, Impermanence, and whatnot.
True.
White Rabbit was summoned, couldn't activate the effect. GWC helps you play around Purulia as well, because that is another summon that is not from the hand. So we could have actually seen something extend after the White Binder was summoned. We could have had a bigger field, we could have had more setup. We didn't have to let the White Binder lie around on the field, because there it just doesn't
Didn't do much, yeah.
do much, yeah.
And to be honest, Malice players do not respect a lot of Purulia, but at the end game, you can see that you have to establish a mediocre field that actually might not be the best options when they are such explosive decks like Mermail, for example, or Memento, as we saw before.
Yeah, definitely. So Julius, in the end, claims victory in that first game. And I feel like both of these players, they have been on the regional grind. They have been playing so many regionals throughout the entire year. Opens, big regionals, YCSs. I feel like they probably played each other before. And Ilias is, again, not the mermaids from Julius once more. He's always doing it with the mermaids to me, and he's trying to do it one more time. But I mean, Ilias now, of course, after side decking, there's not going to be GWC still, as I told you, because it's also not in the side deck. I know a lot of people do that, actually, that they just don't play it in the main deck, but then bring it in, because, let's face it, going first, it is really good. So, like, even drawing it is fine.
You need it for time purposes as well, because sometimes you're just paying too many life points that you end up losing after your combo just in the end game. So
again, we have to respect the fact that the players have built their deck for today only, and they have just go with the idea that in such a high competitive tournament, they will just scoop as fast as they can if they see that they are losing game 1, for example.
Deciding to not play GWC, just as you said, plays heavily into Purulia. I think you might not want to respect the card, but if everyone is still playing it and you have to play a significantly weaker combo, that's really tough, actually.
It is. It very much is so, for sure, 100%. One card, though, that I think is giving Julius problems plenty of times throughout the last weeks is Drone Lockbird, which we already saw, which when that comes down earlier, I think it can like regulate what the Mermaid deck is able to do a lot more. A card now coming in from the side deck, though, that is even more restrictive is Mistaken Arrest. That's in the side deck of Ilias. So drawing that might be key to win this second game here for him.
I also think cards like DD Crow are really, really strong, because now that a few years back the rulings changed, you can just activate it when something gets sent to the graveyard for cost. But our players are ready, so let's go to game 2. I'm a big fan of DD Crow as well. Of course, the Bestials, they do a lot more than the DD Crow does, but they also have a restriction. Your opponent has to have monsters on the field. With cards like the Mitsurugi cards, you can play around Bestials, right? Like just tributing your Murakumo when you have nothing on the field.
Ilias, there's not that many traps he can set, because, as we said, there's no GWC, so... Okay, there is possibly an MTP set, though. That would be crazy if he drew the MTP again, though, and then he can't use White Rabbit once more. Now the Dormouse bow, and I think I saw a card sparkling some interest there in the hand of Julius. Oh. Is there maybe the most feared card ever? It is Artifact Lancea from Julius, trying to shut down whatever this Malice deck is trying to do.
As we mentioned in the first round, Malice may be a very risky choice for this tournament, because obviously all the players will respect Malice and bring side deck options like Lancea, Chaos Hunter, or even Meowls.
I mean, it has been a very feared card overall, right? It's risky to bring Malice to any tournament, because Lancea and Chaos Hunter they don't leave you a lot of room to compensate with your skill. You can't just outplay Lancea. I mean, in Master Duel, people have started playing Speedroids just to put up something versus Lancea.
We're chaining, though. That looks like a chain to the Artifact Lancea there. We drew the MTP again, searching for the March here, which will not be doing much else. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Is the March here also?
From the hand, in order to go to splash mates and access the Brain Ransom in order to get
Hold on,
probably
so we
mirror.
didn't search the March here. We chained the March here to the activation of MTP. Now searching for the Dormouse again.
For some nice follow-up. So I think we're going to try and set up a Malice in the Mirror or just try to set up the MTP again with Whitebinder.
Oh, but Julius, does he have something else? Imagine now if Fuvalos on top of this. That would be
I think
crazy.
he has one, to be
Oh
honest.
my, Julius now with the Fuva too. And you saw Ilias when he saw that Fuvalos are also being dropped down. That makes things so much more awkward now. Because giving your opponent 2 draws against what you saw, what the Mermaid deck can do, that doesn't feel great.
And Julius' hand wasn't good.
Nope.
He even got an Ash for the toys, which was basically the only play he had, but then he still ended up...
Hold on though, that card
Wow.
might be able to still save us. I was talking about mistaken arrest, but there also is deck lockdown. Poseidon though might be immediately
With
the
infantry
answer to it.
that can
And there is
destroy
no
the deck
time
lockdown.
wasted. Julius with lightning speed takes the second game as well. 2-0, and he shows we also had the Dominus Impulse. We were never worried, and 2-0 success for him, and therefore a 1-1 standing in the tournament now. Secured to be still relevant, maybe for top 4, maybe still has a chance for Worlds. Ilias, on the other hand, sadly, pretty much out.
So I think that we have promised you something earlier before. We have a backup featured match, and this game is just going into game 3, so why not just go to the other match? All right, you can see Fuvalos here. El Mahdi.
Right, we have Gabriel Huard versus El Mahdi, Ryziel versus Malice, and as just said, that is the 3rd game, and Gabriel will be going first. Interesting to see that Gabriel has now also been convinced to play Malice. A lot of the French players are doing that, and Gabriel usually was someone that would be going with other strategies. He had much success with Tenpai, for example, but now he is also on the Malice deck.
Right, throwing in a Fuvalos there.
Probably to play around Bestial or Hare.
Yeah, Lingeribo.
Yeah, to gain an extra draw.
Yeah, and this is also a card where you can't really argue with, or maybe you want to keep it, could be greedy here, because as soon as you start playing, the card doesn't do anything for you anymore.
As we see, Gabriel had the Hare, so indeed El Mahdi gained 1 more draw.
Very true.
So Gabriel, the good thing for him is that he has the White Rabbit in hand, so he can immediately just set up the MTP and link those 3 off, just giving 1 draw away here. If he wants to stop playing after the Fuvalos, because this deck can do a lot more than that. I think you go Red Ransom here. You can search for maybe even Malice in the Mirror if you don't want to go for a mega combo.
To be honest, there are some builds right now that have cut the Malice in the Mirror, and it's something that I'm quite interested to see how players will adapt to this.
You know what? I like that because my Wave King Caesar always gets Malice in the Mirror. It's always hard draw Malice in the Mirror, and then I lose.
I can relate to that for sure. And for example, Ilias, who we just had on the main feature, he was siding Malice in the Mirror. He was also not main decking it, but he didn't side the GWC, but he did side the Malice in the Mirror. And now with Gabriel, we see that he is actually main decking the GWC and also the Malice in the Mirror, all of the cards in the main deck.
I find it crazy that people are not main decking this card sometimes, because it is just so good. It is in-engine, going 2nd strong. It enhances your combo by a landslide going first. It's really, really good. It searches you a card, banishes the Red Ransom from the graveyard if you banish it with the Malice in Underground. So absolutely insane card.
I totally agree with you. Playing Malice myself, I also agree that it's an auto detonator, which is a very problematic card, and also helps you play around Fuvalos.
And hear me out, everyone. This is not a usual Ryziel deck. Of course, that card is very usual there with the X Ryziel, but this is actually a Ryziel deck packing all the new support from Duelist Advance with the Do cards. And also some of these Zubababa cards.
And
it's
the Gaga cards?
really
Are
cool.
there also Go cards?
I think those are the ones we miss, but it is really cool to see that those are being included into this deck right now, and El Mahdi is one of those strong believers in them. They gave the Ryziel strategy a new tool again. very often we see Rafflesia, for example, being summoned in the deck now as well. But here we all start with one of the most powerful going second cards that you have in the current format, and that is X-Ryziel. And it's paired with a new card from the Duelist Advanced set as well, and that of course is Velen with Super Psy Sky Blaster.
Yep. Great Psychic Exceeds. You don't have too many of those. This card can now get rid of Malice in the Mirror.
X has become such a good card going second right now. It is one of the best ways Ryziel can address playing going second.
All right, so I think, of course, that is our backup feature mentioned. Maybe we get a chance to get back to it, but for the moment, let's quickly go ahead and bring it back over to us for a very, very short moment, because of course, we need to still be talking and addressing what happened in our main featured match. And now, as we had a little bit of time to set up, our analysis desk is ready, and therefore I would say let's throw it over to our analysis desk with Alberto and Julius.
Thanks so much, Seb. I'm here with Julius, the winner of round 2. So first of all, congratulations. It was quite of a show-off because it was a very swift win from your side. So first of all, I'd like to ask you, you bring once again Mermil. So how do you feel about the deck for this specific tournament of the World Qualifying Points Playoff?
So I think I have a pretty good matchup against Malice. Most of my side deck is built to beat the Malice matchup. I know they have like the FTK cards. You just saw the deck lockdown. I have a couple outs in my deck. I mean, the Mistinguished is a little bit harder to out, but still, I think I have a very good Malice matchup just because my engine is so good into playing boards, and especially like in combination with Chummies, you just lower the impact of their boards, and you can most of the times just push through with engine. And I think I expected most of the people to play Malice, which I think ended up it was like 7.
Yeah.
So I think my matchup is pretty good. Round 1 was a little bit unlucky, game 3, but
Yeah, I was seeing you before in the in the first round of Swiss, and now before we go quickly to our game 1, I think you started things off with the Purulian and Ash. So it was like also a kind of a slow start from his side, I would say, because essentially he started White Banner set 1, right? And he passes, and then at a certain point, I think he read the Poseidra, and because I think he was not sure of the effect. And yeah, this is the moment, and I think you kind of knew that he might have Rubiro, right?
yeah. So like, I was already here, probably he will nip me, if not I can send from deck. I expected him not to have Impulse, because he would have probably set it. Of course, he could have drawn it with White Binder. That's why I was thinking if I even want to rebound with the XYZ, because I play very hard into Impulse. But I just thought he would have set it the Impulse, so I didn't expect him to have it. And like, when he doesn't drop the nip here, I was just 100% sure I'm not bouncing both of the Malice monsters, because if I bounce both and he doesn't nip me but he still has it, I cannot activate Impulse anymore, so I would have just bounced one and keep the other one on the field, do my combo next to it, and then keep the Impulse for later.
Yeah, and also I think from this point on, you kind of figured it out that it was pretty much on your side, because once Poseidra basically resolved essentially, now we can go into our second clip. There's the Coelican coming down, and essentially you clear the entire his field. So I think from Ilias' point of view, I think it was also not easy, because he had a good hand overall, you know. So I think you kind of manipulated over it quite well. I think you were kind of satisfied with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, just like most of the hand trips, like the low impact hand trips, like Valor for example, don't do that much to the deck. Especially like going second when I have my Poseidras, like the small one in the main deck and the one in the extra deck. They get a lot of value going second, especially against like low impact hand traps. And if then I have a card like Impulse to just stop the big hand trip like Nibiru, and the draw didn't really matter in this hand because I just added once. Yeah, I was very happy with the Impulse in my hand.
Yeah, and also, I mean, game 2 was quite quickly, I would say. I mean, overall, I think he had a good hand, but you had both the Lancia and the Fuvalos.
Yeah.
And I think if you start things off with both of them, you kind of know that you are already, in huge advance. And I think Ilias couldn't do much from his point of view, especially because it was just too much, I would say. And with the fourth light as well, let's go quickly over this. It's yeah, I mean, there's the deck lockdown, but you had the Poseidra plus the infantry.
Yeah, when I saw the deck lockdown, I just knew I won because I had the out in my hand. I knew every card in his hand, so it was just over from that point.
Yeah. So congratulations for the win. Hopefully we will see you again, and good luck for the rest of the tournament. Thanks so much for watching, but don't go anywhere because we will go back to the casters.
We are back indeed, and of course we're back for a reason. That backup feature match is still running, so no time wasted. Back over to the back feature match with our commentary as well. And okay, let's see. This progressed quite a bit, but there's a rivalry of the Warlords of the side of Gabriel there. And Elmadi, though, having Raziel Detonator on the field as well, basically ready to tackle that rivalry of the Warlords eventually as well. I'm wondering how it probably was activated before the Detonator could even come onto the field.
Yeah, and then, I mean, you have Valen attached to it. You can just pop 2 cards at once. That's so cool.
That's actually crazy, you're right. But let's see.
That might be what's happening right now.
Oh, yeah, that is Detonator's effect, targeting the Malice in Underground. But I mean, we surely already used the Valen this turn. Is it not once per turn?
Oh, I think we're... Oh, yeah, true. If we are...
Oh, no. This must be another turn already. Oh, okay. They get to chain the MTP now. That was probably a known card. I can barely believe that that's already another turn, honestly. But maybe you're right.
I mean, the turn was probably just stopped with Rivalry. And then we go Detonator.
Maybe, yeah. You could definitely be correct. But now the chance definitely is... There is now the Ash Blossom and Joy Spring on the MTP, and Gabriel has to give the thumbs up to that.
Solid 2-card investment here. I mean, Valen Effect is not really a card that you're using here, but Ash on the MTP. Quite curious to see... Oh, wow, wait.
Druid's Room is good.
Yeah,
and the rivalry, though?
Yeah, Druid's Room, it has to be used to crash into Detonator and then send Detonator, but we have the Raziel Cross.
Yeah.
So it basically just gets out cross, no? Because under Rivalry, you are absolutely right, doesn't do anything.
Let's see, they target the Valen, and Elmadi is considering, but it seems like with the Druid's Worm being around, you just want to leave the Rivalry up there. And yeah, there it is, thumbs up. Valen gone, but situation maybe still alright for Elmadi. As we head into the battle phase, crash the Druid's Worm, try to send that Detonator to the graveyard, but Elmadi certainly has a way to stop that.
Yep, just cross it off, basically, right? So you just need to detach. Of course, that is one less material on your Raziel Detonator card that is so powerful. Destroying 3 cards, basically. Now it's only gonna be 2. But it's better than losing it, huh?
Ooh, March here now as well, though.
I think that was the right choice, even though Elmadi will get to play another turn after this.
Banishes Malice in the mirror. Activates that as well. Banishes the Red Ransom. This is huge for Gabriel.
And I love the fact that he bans Malice in the mirror since already as Blossom has been activated, so he wasn't scared about getting us Blossom.
Yeah, because that really deals a lot of damage then basically to you. Gets Chessicat banished, and now Gabriel is in the safe zone here. 10 minutes left on the clock. You don't have a battle phase this turn, so keep that in mind. Elmadi is always going to get another turn here. But this looks like this might become full combo at any point, because yes, Detonator destroys many cards. At this point, there's only going to be one more pop, and we know how well Malice plays through interruptions. But Basti, weren't you saying about something about no GWC as well? 1,900 life points. That is not a lot.
Yes, but actually looking at the list from Gabriel, there is GWC in his list.
Okay,
so even though that card is there, maybe he didn't get access to it. Maybe he just didn't have a way to have a Malice Link monster on the field when it was resolved in the end. But definitely 2,000 life points is quite low. I will have to agree. So Elmadi, even though this is now looking promising for Gabriel, in the long run, might still be able to somehow rattle through. And please note, 10-minute mark now has approached. And Gabriel will do no further damage here this turn, as we have already been in the battle phase. So this is maybe going to go all the way down to the last seconds remaining of the match. And now Chessicat comes back too.
I feel like we just switched banishments there. Chessicat is not going to activate here. We're going to link off those. Let's see what we're going to summon. It's not going to be Appaloosa above the Goddess.
Nope.
But maybe a Bomber Dragon. Cyber's Wicked it is.
Your beloved Cyber's Wicked, Leo.
Yeah.
Now Chessicat. We want to try to draw 2 more. That card is so good, honestly. I think it's an obvious choice to say Dormouse is the best Malice monster in the main deck, but I don't know. I have a sweet spot for Chessicat, really. That card is just enabling so much.
It just tips the deck a little bit over the edge, right? Because your main deck engine is also so small.
Yeah.
You're just... it's almost a guarantee that you're going to draw into at least
I
one
love drawing
non-engine
cards,
card.
honestly.
Yeah. Especially if it's Ash Blossom that you didn't have in hand before,
Yeah.
or Impermanence.
I mean,
or
who doesn't love
Bestials.
Pot of Greed? And that card is basically Pot of Greed, and then you also
Yeah.
get to summon a card.
Yeah. Or add back a card.
Yes, it is pretty good.
And now Gabriel has very good protection with Wicked, since not only she protects herself, but also any cybers that she points.
You're so right, and that makes Detonator a lot weaker here.
Yep, the moment that Cyrus Wicked is on the field, that Detonator really is not too happy anymore. And that rivalry of the Warlords, let's face it, as long as there are no Bestials around, Melis truly doesn't care about it at all, as it's a full Cybers deck, of course, in the main deck and in the extra deck. Okay, they can't go into Haggard Lizardos anymore, sure, but I think they will be fine without that here right now.
I think you're absolutely right about that. I mean, some players have even started to cut Haggard Lizardos because you just play your combos differently.
True.
Which is fine, starting off with Splash Mage. It's an interesting position.
Okay, El Mahdi thinking this through. I mean, there's not really...
There-
Oh, is he going to use the Detonator now?
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
Oh, we're going to pop the rivalry of the
Oh.
Warlords. Are we having Nibiru, the Primal Being in
you
hand?
might be right. You
I
might be
think
right.
that's
It
a call.
could be. It could be Nibiru, the Primal Being, because we were capped off of that card. But now that there is no more rivalry, we can of course bring another type onto the field. And is that a rock monster in our hand? It would be a huge moment to use Nibiru here.
Now, wasn't Marcha just activated? It seemed to me like it was activated. Now we're going to link off for a Splash Mage under the Wicked. Summons back the White Rabbit. What are we going into next?
Still no response here from El Mahdi. Is that last card in hand a saving grace, a possible Nibiru, or is it nothing that can interrupt Gabriel at all?
Nibiru is not always the greatest card to have on your own side of the field as well, if you're playing Ryziel especially, because X, a so crucial card for your strategy, does not give you a surge when there is a monster on your side of the field that isn't a level or rank 4. Now GWC is being set, and that might fix the life points problem that Gabriel is facing right now.
There it is. He has decided to play it, and therefore he may be getting away with having so little life points at the moment. Banishes the... Oh yeah, okay, from the graveyard the Red Ransom comes back, so there is a Melis Lynx monster, and therefore we do get life points back. It's
Boom,
not like...
4,000.
It's not 7,000 though, and the clock. I mentioned the 10-minute mark, and now we're at 6.5 minutes, so it is ticking down quickly here.
And we're going down to 3,100 as well.
We do. Gabriel.
Or did he maybe even forget to gain life points?
No, I saw
Okay.
him point out.
All right,
Rush.
good. Okay.
There it is, 3,100.
All right, now what are we doing next here?
Banishing a couple of cards, of course, with the White Binder that just came back. Actually, 4,000 life points even, so the deficit is not as big as
The White Binder
thought.
came back. It's 900
It's
paid after that.
3,100.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we're just going step by step now, true. Yeah, that's probably the moment we do go down to 3,100 now. There is the White Rabbit now back to the field too.
Yep, has apparently been used this turn. Oh, we're linking off everything here. That might be Crypta. Crypta is a link 3, which is usually very easy to summon, but you actually need 3 monsters for it. Puts the Malice in the mirror back as well. Ryziel Cross. Oh, no, goes for the detonator. I mean, it's at 1, so it basically kind of makes sense that you're not going to be able to recycle it with Ryziel Cross.
Yes, because if Detonator gets banished, it's very difficult for Ryziel to recycle him. And obviously, you can activate Crypta effect on your opponent's turn to deal with the cross.
We just also had Ghost Ogre in hand. We just got rid of the Ghost Ogre here, which is also interesting because that's a good answer.
Access code Talker now.
Slick.
In the main phase too. The alternative artwork, of course.
And I mean, we've been stressing out about time quite a bit already, but these players, they just take like 2 or 3 minutes for their combos. This is looking fine here. I mean, it's not going to be easy to break this field that he's putting up in.
Totally not. I mean, El Mahdi is on 1 card in hand.
Yeah,
now the Star Riser is also gone. He's going to draw another one, sure. But Gabriel ain't even done yet. Are we even going for Echo Talker here, maybe?
And also one of the problems that Ryziel at the moment needs to deal with is their grind games if their field it's getting destroyed.
Yep. And do we have that allied code Talker at Ignister here, maybe? There it is. That's the name. And is it in the extra? Yeah, it is in the extra deck of Gabriel. So he has the chance to use it here.
I mean, I've been saying that time is not really the biggest issue for him right now, but should start playing.
Totally.
Not have infinite time. But yeah, that looks like an allied code talker here. Links
Oh,
off
look at
everything.
all of those monsters we use for Ling 5. Almost in a classic way. I think he only used a Ling 2 there and then 3 other monsters alongside it.
I'm pretty sure Gabriel is on 2,200, by the way, because
Yeah, the White Rabbit.
yeah, it's not 600 damage, it's 900 damage.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I've never seen this before, actually, bringing back the Axis Code Talker with the Allied Code Talker at Ignister.
Fun.
2 set cards, and I think Gabriel seems confident here. One of the 2 Gabriels here in the playoff. Gabriel Susi and Gabriel Duarte, but now Elmadi's turn. A little over 3 minutes, Elmadi, what you got?
The resource management on Gabriel is insane. Shuffling back the Malice in the mirror and then later on summoning out the Red Ransom with Allied Code Talker to get back the Malice in the mirror is crazy. Hard Cryptor on the field as well. Plenty of follow-up in there. There is very few
Hold
things.
on. That's either Protoss or Eschatos there. We're banishing cards from the graveyard. That's what it's got to be. Which one is it? It is the Mike, your most favorite card. It
After
is the
so many
Protoss.
years.
It is back,
And
and,
not
there
banished.
is no response. But that means we have Gabriel winning this backup feature match.